Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome to Satisfactory 1.2, complete with weather, fluid trucks, daisy chaining, power cables, and so much more. And now that the update is in the stable branch, we are going to continue our Let's Play with it. But you know what's not in the update? My updated mods! They're gone. I'm gone. And one of the most important, Sky UI, which lets me control the weather and the time of day, and now it's gone. So the weather might get a little weird today. That's fine, because we have so many cool things to mess with now, including... Wait, I was gonna say, where's the fluid trucks? I want to go beep? Oh, it's in tier 5. Fluid trucks and trucks are in logistics mark 4. Oh, wow, this is an important one. And oh yeah, the new truck pathing. So much going on nowadays. It's gonna be wild, it's gonna be crazy. Yes, all the vehicle pathing has been changed. So instead of like driving the trucks around like random places like the old system was, you kind of set up trucks like you do train systems. Except you don't need to worry about any kind of like signaling or any of that jazz. Instead, the trucks are smart enough to know like, hey, there's a truck in front of me. Let's not crash into each other, which I guess is okay. But now we'll miss out on some of the crazy vehicle chicanery, like using the bounce pads with vehicles in the pathing, or having vehicles crashing into each other and going into space. But alas, now they're reliable methods of transportation.
Return to your designated zone. Failure to comply will...
But that's okay. I suppose they'll be actually useful now, which will be kind of fun. Ooh, but also, new helmets. Look, isn't it cute? Ooh, cool. Or the drinking cap, neat. You know what? We usually go with like the welding mask. I think we're switching the gears. This is the new me. Bean loves the look. Yeah. Ooh, but the big deal is fluid trucks. So instead of having to package all of your fluids in a new truck, you can just have the raw fluids go into a truck and you can transport them as a liquid. And 3,200 liquids, that's pretty good. Do you like it, other truck? I hope so. Because our new factory over in the Dune Desert is going to use lots of trucks. Lots and lots and lots and lots. Both the normal trucks and the fluid trucks, because we have the road systems already in place and many plans to use them. They will be a key feature of us beating old Satisfactory the video game here. Oh, and the rails, they can be painted. I forgot about that. Wait, how are these already copper? How are some gold? But we can only use the finishes, I'm pretty sure. We can't use like, I don't know, turbo blue? No, it just goes back to like default, I think. Oh, and also there's a little low-key change they made that's really, really cool. There's a lot of alternate recipes in the game where you kind of have to unlock them to see them and get them. But I think they changed it. So now, even if you don't have one unlocked, you can see what it is, which is an amazing change, especially for new players, because then they can plan what they want to do in the end game without playing hard drive roulette. And speaking of alternate recipes and planning, oh boy, it is time to get back to work on our final factory, where we are trying to automate the last 3 space elevator parts: the biochemical sculptors, AI expansion servers, and warp drives. But before we can really tackle production, we have one last major logistics issue. All of the resources we've gathered are actually at 2 places. Or sorry, actually 3 places. We have this huge factory set up in the Rocky Desert here that has a bunch of iron, coal, and limestone. The Dune Desert, of course, which is our main project area. And then our main base, which has the other half of all of the items in the game. And that's kind of our big problem. We have tens of thousands of items still kind of all over the world. And to better illustrate things, this is our world save uploaded to satisfactorycalculator.com, where this is our main base, this is the nuclear power plant, Rocky Desert Factory, and our final factory location. And you see, delivering just 10,000 coal to the other side of the world, that's a bit of a distance. And sure, we have this train line here, but I'll quickly be overloaded because there's all this material from like the swamp or like the red desert that's going to here, and then it's going like out to here, and then it goes like out and around. And what I'm trying to say is if we add too many trains to our train network, it'll blow up. Hence why we are doing quite a bit of processing on some locations. But the trick is, to figure out what exactly and how much stuff we can process. So here's the available materials at our main base. We have the rest of the aluminum supply in the world, a little bit of copper, a little bit of bauxite, about 3,000 rubber, some water, and the rest. Now, what kind of materials can we make with this stuff? Well, seeing the coal, one of the easy answers is, of course, gonna be diamonds. Where the standard recipe is just to use coal to make diamonds. We are not gonna be using this recipe at all because we need about 2,000 diamonds per minute. And using the default recipe, that would equate to, let's see, 2,000 divided by 30 is about 67 particle accelerators, each one needing 600 coal per minute. That's a bit of coal, kind of all the coal in the world. Literally. So instead, we're gonna be using an alternate recipe. Turbo diamonds, combining coal with turbo fuel to make more diamonds. But this illustrates a bit of a problem, right? We don't have turbo fuel in the main base. And so for a lot of production lines, we're going to be bringing finished goods over to certain areas, and then we're gonna be bringing ingredients back. So the same freight cars will bring different items back and forth. At least that's for some of the other projects. For coal, technically speaking, we do have a source of turbo fuel nearby. You see, right next door to our main base is our first power plant. A turbo fuel power plant in the Blue Crater Lake here, which is making, you know what, actually I have no idea how much turbo fuel this place is making. It's making a lot of it, and we could repurpose the plant to help us make diamonds. We could package the turbo fuel, send her back to the main base, and call her a day. Except there's a couple hiccups. The biggest one is when I built this plant, I did not know a lot about satisfactory fluid dynamics. And so, it doesn't really run that well at all. And it kind of bugs me a lot to see it like constantly stuttering, and I could go through and fix all the problems, or instead I could do the classic satisfactory move of just deleting everything and starting over, which is something I am going to do. We used a bunch of older recipes in order to build this because we didn't have the technology yet. Then I don't want to deal with the headache of figuring out what the heck past Kibs was thinking here. And I'm going to show you something you can't unsee. Something horrible that has blighted my mind for far too long. You see, our main base here is kind of the alignment for the entire world. So this area down here is aligned with the main base, same with our nuclear power plant, and our final factory area. You know what's not aligned with the main base? The Turboplex there, our turbo fuel power plant. It's on a weird angle, and it drives me nuts and causes all of these little weird discrepancies. Like, thankfully there's a curved belt build mode, but still it's like, why are these weird angles here? Doesn't have to be there. Why is this foundation off? It causes me headaches, and I don't like it. So yeah, we are going to destroy the entire Turboplex and rebuild it into the first packaged turbo fuel factory. And this is the new plan, where we have about 750 crude oil per minute available, and we need to make 600 packaged turbo fuel per minute, at the cost of about 270 crude oil. And with the remaining crude oil, we will rebuild the Turboplex into its final form, a rocket fuel power plant. And the crazy part about this entire plan is the rocket fuel upgraded power plant will be able to make double the amount of power that the turbo fuel plant could make with half of the crude oil. Like, it's amazing. And then also, we're gonna be able to make all the diamonds we need. So it's time for a new project, where we will plan out this mega project, converting the Turboplex into the Rocket Plex. Or that'll be the name of the new facility. We'll call the project the Turboplex Redux. Yeah, that definitely flows off the tongue really easily. But okay, the plan for the Rocket Plex is to delete the entire Turboplex, including its foundation, bring the finished goods over, build the turbo fuel for diamonds, rebuild the small rocket fuel plant, make a huge battery plant in case of emergencies, and then do what we can to not blow up the nuclear power plant. Because in disabling the Rocket Plex, we are not going to be sending resources back to our main base for our nuclear power plant, and it could cause problems, so we gotta have to move through things pretty quick. Okay. First thing is we gotta move some stuff out of here. We made a really small power shard factory here, and we have more than enough than we'll need for the entire rest of the playthrough. The thing is, can't delete power shards. So we'll probably have to burn them in a small ionized fuel power plant or something. I don't know, we'll figure it out. And in the meantime, we gotta move them, but not ourselves. No, that's the peasant way of doing things. No. First, we fill up our inventory. Then the trick is to highlight everything with mass dismantle. So nothing is actually being deleted yet. We're just putting the tens of thousands of power shards into a mass dismantle. And in doing so, what's gonna happen to all of the items? Well, they're gonna go into a dismantle crate. And the fun thing about dismantle crates is they have no limit at all. So the 200,000 power shards that we have now scheduled for deletion, well, so long as we hold things in this mass dismantle mode, we can actually trigger the dismantle from wherever we want. And that will put the dismantle crate at our feet, wherever we want. And so we have now just transported 200,000 power shards in one trip. And that's where they're gonna sit. In this dismantle crate, way over here. This is also a very good way to like move base if you want to switch locations. Works like a charm. Oh, and pro tip, you want to merge dismantle crates so you only have one in the world or within 100 meters of dismantle crates. And for the trick to work, you want the dismantle crate placement to actually be next to player. Anyway, it's time to say goodbye to the Turboplex. And I'll just go ahead and clean up all the blueprints first, and we'll clean up the bigger messes a little bit later. And thankfully, most everything is a blueprint. Woof! That saves a couple hours. But you know, we'll probably leave a little something as a callback to where we came from. But I don't even know what's gonna be left after a little while. This is just deleting the blueprints and it's bare. And also so square, I never realized how square the platform ended up being. So probably when we rebuild, we'll make a more interesting shape, eh? Yeah, good plan. Also, I've decided we're keeping the main fish tank building. I think we're gonna retrofit it and make it look even more cool with the rocket fuel stuff. So yes, it'll be a little off center and that'll be very inconvenient to work around, but it's historic and it'll be cool to have something survive. And yeah, as for the rest, no, I wanted to delete the rocket fuel plant here for a long time. Nope, it can go. In fact, screw it, it gets a boop. And that's it, it's gone. The 50-hour Turboplex project is destroyed. This is so sad. I'm not crying, it's just the new rain effects. Okay, it is kind of sad to see nature reclaim this area. Disgusting, organics everywhere, ew. Don't worry though, we will rebuild. And from the ashes of the Turboplex, the Rocket Plex shall be born. Better and more powerful than ever. And then like our other paving projects, we kind of use the terrain as inspiration, you could say, where we follow where the heights are at, and then we build at kind of the ground level, quote unquote. And now we have this, the new foundation for the Rocket Plex. It is probably half the size as the turbo fuel factory thing. The lake's practically uncovered and a lot of the cliffside here is laid bare. But that's okay. We don't need as many machines this time around because we have more efficient recipes and ways of doing things. And then we have our main building here still on its very peculiar angle. How we'll incorporate that, I'm not sure yet. The next step is the resources, getting rid of all of the existing stuff from the previous Turboplex build and reorienting it back onto the main supply lines to our main base. So like all the sulfur, quartz, SAM, and everything else we've gathered all needs to be reoriented onto the new platform properly. And you know what? It actually wasn't too bad. Everything's being rebelted, put into like this giant knot here, and is going back to the main base. I even went ahead and gathered up the additional resources we needed for rocket fuel. And it also turns out we have like thousands of extra resources. We have 3,600 coal just sitting around, 2,400 sulfur, 600 SAM, and iron out the wazoo, but who cares about iron really? And beyond just getting that done, I'm really glad I've tore things up here because it just looks so much better and like more organized. And I've learned so much since the beginning of this playthrough and making things look better and having things function properly. Like one of the nice things is with the oil reorganized, goes over this way, goes into these huge backup storage towers. So if there's ever a hiccup, it won't absolutely obliterate our entire aluminum production facility. No, we got backup storage for days. And also, frankly, I'm just better at setting up pipes nowadays. Turns out you learn a couple things after 1,000 extra hours of gameplay, and things are looking real cool. Look at all this oil patch, it's so pretty. We have the extra tools as well, which I guess helps quite a bit. But yeah, all of the oil is brought back over here, at least the oil that we can use, into 3 different barrels where we have 300 crude per minute each. Which can let us get started on our rocket fuel plan. And we're gonna take it a little slow here. I don't wanna build like drilling machines today. So we're just gonna focus up on the plastic side, where we just need 100 crude, a little bit of water, and then by using the relatively convoluted 1 to 3 oil product setup, all the recycling nonsense, we'll have all the plastic we need. And with this project, we can check out all the fun new features like the daisy chaining. Oh, and also the new pipe thing. It's a new pipe thing, right? Oh, yeah, bud, a T-junction. Thank you, universe, i.e. coffee stain. Oh, wait. No, before we build anything, I interrupted the crude oil supply. There might be a little hiccup at the nuclear power plant. I don't know what could have went wrong. Probably some uranium problems because the aluminum is used for the pressure conversion cubes. And those cubes are used for the plutonium fuel rods, which recycle the uranium waste. Oh yeah, we got some problems here, Chief. This is backed up way too far. Okay, good news is though, we know what's going on and it's an easy problem to solve. We go to some of the melting down reactors that are full of waste and we're gonna turn them off. We're down about 200,000 megawatts, also not good. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll just turn off this huge chunk of reactors. We should be left with around, I don't know, 600,000 or 700,000 megawatts. That'll cover our consumption needs and be fine. Oh, and then the last thing we need to do is send half of the uranium fuel rod production into the awesome sink. That way, we won't make as much uranium waste and we'll have less of a problem. So let's turn on the dumpster. That's just that up there. That's sinking a bunch of uranium fuel rods, but we don't want to sink all of them, only half. So down here again, overflow, no, we'll switch this back to any. So half of them will go to the power plants that way, half of them will go into the abyss, and then yeah, some of them go into a bin here in case we have a real bad problem. Then after a little bit, all of this craziness should stabilize. So okay, there's a little up and down for some reason, but it's hovering around 700,000 megawatts, and that's all we need. It's way in the clear of our consumption. So we'll consider the nuclear power plant stable, because it totally is, and we are going to work on some oil stuff. So we're just gonna take 100 crude oil and make it into 300 plastic per minute. And we built this setup a couple times at this point, right? But super quick, all we gotta do is make some heavy oil residue with this alternate. Put the residue into 2 blenders, which we're going to raise up just so we can have some pipe and belting space. That'll make all the fuel we need, which kind of gets us started with the recycling part of the whole system, where we need to use the fuel to recycle rubber, actually, but also to recycle some of the plastic. It's kind of like a refeeding mechanism, which is a little weird. But one of the other things we get with the heavy oil residue alternate is a little bit of polymer resin, and with that polymer resin, we kick the whole system off by making some plastic initially, and then that plastic goes and makes a bunch of rubar. That rubar is then set off into a bunch of recycled plastic refineries. And then the trick is to have a smart splitter at the end of the system, which takes some of the recycled plastic. Some of it, or most of it really, we'll use for our canister production, but the priority is to refeed it back into our initial production. So the overflow will be the actual product we want, and the main output will go back to make more recycled rubber. With more recycled rubber, we can make more recycled plastic, da-da-da-da-da. At the end of the day, we get our plastic out the wazoo and the whole system is built and color-coded. It looks pretty nice, eh? Also, the daisy chaining? Convenient at places, but not everywhere. I feel like this should have been implemented a long time ago. Because sure, you can just go from machine, 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 and you don't have to build any power poles, but I feel like, I don't know, you still need power poles to make things look properly aesthetic. Oh, but when you have like mass machines just in a huge row, like these refineries, oh my gosh, it is the best thing since sliced bread. I wish we always had it. It's so nice. So nice. Anyway, the whole system is built. Check it out. Couple things of note. You want an overflow awesome sink for extra polymer resin, and also at the end of the line for your fuel, have a slushing canister here, or bouffard, so the fuel doesn't go all crazy. But anyway, details are in, we are all good, and we have completed our first step in our new rocket fuel factory, and I've even made some preparations for the next phase. But I feel like we've gotten our feet wet now with the new Satisfactory update, so remember to subscribe for more and leave a like if you enjoyed. And until next time, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.